Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Farming Simulator 19. And yes, at long last, patch 1.2 has hit the server. Hit the servers, the download servers. Okay, it's here. It's here. It's arrived. We have it. It's now able to, we're able to do things with it. I have tested it out a little bit. Not on this map. I've tested it on the, like, you know, that trial map that we're doing the garage survey thing with. It doesn't remove trees. You still got to manually remove trees, and they have stated already that there may be some issues if you've already removed trees on a save, and then you want to go back and you want to terraform. So we may still have an issue with that little bit over there, which is slightly frustrating. And you remember I asked what would happen if we removed this hill. Can we do it? Is there like a limit? There's no limit. There's literally no limit. We can remove this entire hill. I terraformed on a trial map. I removed this entire hill. Apart from the bits around the trees, the rest of it, all of it gone. I removed the entire mound. It was absolutely amazing. It's all completely gone. So that is what we're doing today. We've got a new section in here. There are some other things that have been done. There's been changes made to the log grabs. They're now stronger, that sort of thing, but we don't care about that. None of you care about that, do you? This is what you want to see. Landscaping. Okay, so we could do some landscaping up here. I'm not going to. We're going to start off by doing a little bit of landscaping over here. You've got a few different options. We can zoom the camera around like this. We can move it around. You've got, this is sculpting that we're on at the moment. Unfortunately, we can't get that close. I already tried this. I tested it a little bit. You can't get that close to this cliff over here. That's about as close as we can get up here. So we're going to have some rough spots in this field. There's not a lot that we can do about that. There's a spot right there, which I think might be a tree stump. Yeah, see? These are where we have the tree stumps here. It shouldn't affect us too much over on this bit. I'm hoping it won't, but the issue is going to be over here. See, we've still got that one little bit there that we're not going to be able to modify. I'm hoping, though, that we'll be able to modify around that bit, and we'll be able to find some way of getting through it. So we've got another spot right there that we won't be able to modify. And then another bit there, because there was two trees over here. The rest of it, we will be able to change and move around and do whatever we want to. So it's, yeah. If you go onto a new save, any new save is going to be absolutely fine. You're not going to have any problem with it. But there is the odd bit where, like up against here, we can't really do a lot with it, which is a little bit of a shame. I don't quite know why. A lot of this is to do with the trees that were here. We're not going to be able to move them because of those trees that were here. So what we've got, hang on, let's go to a spot where it's not going to matter too much if we do a little bit of terraforming. So this is off the edge over here. We don't own this land right here, so we can't do it there. We do own the land over here. So we got like this bit down here. We can modify down here. So I'm just going to show you. Actually, no, I know where I can do it. We'll start off here because I want to alter this around a little bit anyway. I may even be able to do it near that pressure washer, but no. So to start with, you can place some ground down. We can place some stuff down, so we just do that. It raises it up like that, and then if you use the other mouse button, lowers it back down again like that. You can change your brush strength so that you can go really super insane with it, dig really deep holes and stuff like that. I'm not doing that on this map. Okay, I'm not doing it. You see, just by raising and lowering, that cost us nearly $2 grand up there. Okay, so it does cost money to do this. It's not, you know, every single little bit does actually cost money. So we've got to keep that in mind as well. We've got change landscaping mode. So this is the brush. And then you're able to change the shape. So we can do squares like this. So I can do a square like that. That is mud at the moment. Now, I don't really want mud on there, so we can go through and we can change these. You can change the radius of the square. You can increase and decrease. We'll keep it small like this for a minute. You've got your camera zoom. You can zoom in and out like that, and you can rotate it round like this. And then we've got, what was it, change? Oh, tab to change it. So we got that bit. The only thing, and this has been a complaint that a few people have said, a requested improvement to this, is name the type of surface that we've got down here so it would be easier, because some of them are not that easy to see just when you're painting them on the ground. Okay, so you got that one right there, and then we've got another type of concrete by the look of it. Not quite sure which one it is. And then you've got that one there, which is standard ground, just the standard dirt. So let's go over that and colour that one in. So then we've got this one, which is the mud. And I quite like this one. You can see the mud sort of pulling a little bit on that. Next one, ground type. This, I think, is the sand from the beach, is it, maybe? Not quite sure. Then you got this here, which is kind of a sandy stone type surface. Looking at that. Something like that. I'm not quite sure what that is. Standard grass. Now, this doesn't actually grow grass. You don't get grass growing from this. It just comes out that colour. And then you've got the mixed one like that, which is really good for tracks that you don't use very often, or just sort of feathering along the edges of a track if you want to. You can spend ages working on this. You really can. You've got some darker grass right there. And then we go to this one. This is a gravel surface. This is stone here by the look of it. And then we've got a darker stone there, a grey stone. And I don't really know what that one is. Is that like sand? Type of sandy approach? Another type of stone maybe? No, maybe, river mud or something like that. And then we go to that kind of mud. And then we're back to the beginning again. So you can see we've got a lot of different surface areas that you can use. There's loads of different ones. So what I would like to do is I'd actually like to have it on that one there. What do I want to do next? I want to go to change landscaping mode. So I'm on this one. You've got raise, lower, smooth, and flatten. Now, the smooth, it does pretty much what you'd expect it to. Now, I'd like this to be like a square. I can't go too close to the chickens over there. There's only so close you can get to different items. I'd actually like this to come down to that level right there. So if I go to smooth first, and that is the middle mouse button, and we sort of zoom in a little bit, I'm going to change the modification shape. It seems to work better like this. You can see there, it's actually just kind of smoothing off the edges, which is almost without a doubt the most useful tool out of all of these. Just being able to smooth those edges like that, and it just sort of draws them down and gives you nice gentle curves. So like on the edges here, the edges of where you put your placeables down, you get some nice gentle curves going in. Anywhere that you modify, it automatically defaults to the non-grass green, like that, or whatever else might be underneath it at the time. So just keep that in mind. But no, I don't want that one. What I want is I want the flatten, and I'm going to go there, and then I'm going to flatten. So it'll take the level that you start out at. So I've gone to this level here, and then if I go from there, and I press both mouse buttons, that will bring that down to a dead level surface at that exact height, all the way around. Okay? As much as it can. It's only so close that it can get to the various different pens and stuff. So there is, it does sort of hold back on doing that. I can't go there because of the pressure washer. And also we have the tree up there as well. But I can bring this through like that. There, that's as close as I can go over there. And then I can also bring it up this way a little bit. Towards the horses. Not very much though. Right, we do have a little bit of a limit on that. So I've brought that out to there like that. So now what I can do is I'm pressing the middle mouse button, and I'm just gently flattening the edges of this so that it's not too steep. And it'll also just kind of blend in the edges along here as well as it goes up to where the chickens are. I don't really... playing around with it, I've found that increasing the brush strength too much has a bit of a detrimental effect. try not to do that too much. It's better to take your time with it, take a little bit longer to do the blending and stuff than it is to try and rush it, because it does end up just going a little bit too insane and it doesn't look very good. When you come to finish it, it just doesn't look very good. So, like this here, I can blend a whole load of this. It's surprising how much I can blend when it doesn't actually allow me to move the overall terrain. And I can still, like, knock a whole load of this down. Right, so it is letting me move some of it. And it's not going to allow me to move all of it. It will eventually put up a bit of a fight where those two trees were. And there's not a lot that we can do about that. But, I mean, I don't really mind that, because what we've got here is we've got this new area that's coming up through. And that track is now sort of coming through quite nicely. Just bring that one out a little bit there. And try and blend that down a bit more. There. So, now I've got a nice level area right there in the middle. And I've got a track that goes between them. Now, I'd like to, ideally, I want to try and sort of blend this a little bit as well. So, I want to try and lower it down a bit. Maybe if we can push this piece down here a bit, in which case I want to just lower that down if I can. When you go to lower, it does do this very weird thing where it kind of, there, see, it sort of levels the whole chunk and then starts to lower it down. So just keep that in mind when you are trying to play around with that particular little tool. It can sort of have a bit of a weird effect. But I would strongly recommend, before you go taking this, I know most of you have already played around with it, but I would strongly recommend creating a new save and playing around with it a little bit in there first before you go taking it onto your main map. Or, you know, make sure you save before you start playing around with it if you don't have, if you're, don't really want to start a new save for it. Just, like, make sure you save first. Because there's no undo function. There's one thing they haven't put into it at the moment is an undo function. So anything that you do is there to stay. So if you go sort of overboard with it, you've either got to spend a long time putting it right, or you need to use an undo function. And right now, I'm just kind of blending that off of there. I'm quite happy with that, actually. That's quite alright, sort of blending it around there. I'm pleased with that. And then we've got our track over here. Now, this is the bit where it's sort of gone really rough right here. This is the bit that I didn't particularly like. So what I'd like to do is I want to bring that over there. And I'm hoping it will raise the level of that soil there a little bit. Maybe we can add a little bit. Maybe we can add in some more. Because I don't want it too much off to the side. So if I go to, I want to lower, I want to raise it. If I do that, like that, there, raise that bit, and then, yes, it's not going to allow me to raise this very much over here. So then I've got to, now that I've done that, I've sort of put those bits in, like that. See, this is where raising it does become a little bit difficult. You've got to try and put it into steps to start with. And then the next step is, like, now we've got to blend it down in. This is what I've found. But once if you take a bit of time to do your blending, it does work really nicely. You know, we can blend this down in now, and we get a nice smooth track all the way up there. If I want to have the grass growing back here, I am going to have to go back over it and plough it up. That's the only downside to it at the moment. However, they have stated that in a future patch, they could very well add in kind of the ability to put in grass and shrubs and stuff like that. So you can put the stuff in if you want to. For those of you that really hate having the shrubs in your farm, so I'm going to kind of leave it like that for a minute, I think, because that's looking pretty good. It'll raise it a little bit, maybe there. Just blend that bit around. See, I've got some more blending that I want to do there, just to kind of level off these corners here a bit. There, that's looking better. Yeah, another thing that you can do is like this here. I can just go over that with the smoothing option. Just there, look. And it's hardly changed it at all. It's hardly done anything, but it has got rid of the shrubs. So if you really hate these shrubs all the way around, you can just very quickly go through and use the blending, the smooth function with the middle mouse button. And it does smooth it out. It does actually make a difference to it. So you are able then to sort of smooth it over a little bit. So next, I want to go back to the painting option here. And we want to go through... Now, of course, I need to try and find a match. And this is the bit that I'm struggling with. Okay, that seems to be that kind of ground there. So we can go like that, and I can take that up through there like that. See? Okay, that is actually pretty cool that it does that. There we go. We can go up through there as well. I know that we got the trailer in the way at the moment, which is not ideal. But I can bring that out like that, and then I can also just bring that up through, because with this one, with the painting function, you can actually paint in closer to the animal pens if you want to. There's nothing to stop you from painting right in close to the animal pens, which I'm going to do there, and then I'm also going to paint that round like that. Now, painting over there at the moment does just remove the grain that is in front of that pen, and... anything else that you've left tipped on the ground as well, by the way, so just keep that in mind. It may be something that you don't want to happen. We're going to bring that over there. This is all going to be dirt. I'm going to go back over this in a minute with some extra. So I'm going to bring that down that way as well. We're not likely to be going down here and turning that way, so I'm not worried about that. I do want to bring that there. There we go, sort of bring that a little bit wider, and then that one, bring off that corner as well, and up through there like that. Right, so that's kind of the edges of where we would want to be driving around, maybe out a little bit more on there like that, and then I'd be happy with that. Right, and now I go through and I try and find the right one, so it's not the grass, it's this one. This is the one that I want, and also... I want to make the brush size a bit smaller. So to change your brush size, you go to... Hang on, how do you do that? Change modifier, rotate, toggle, help. Change radius is the arrow keys. So there, I can shrink that down. Change the size of it like that. And then I can just go along the edges. And I can paint that in there. So this is like the bits that don't get driven on quite so much. And it blends it quite nicely in... with the edges of the actual grass there. And so I'm going to come round and we're going to do that sort of just along these edges here and a bit up through there as well. There we go. And do some more in over here, because this is an area that gets some traffic, but it's not going to get like loads. The same down here. We want to just bring that down through there like that. Another one there that's going to get, you know, a little bit of traffic, but not loads. And in around there under the trees, a bit patchy under the trees there. Come through here like this. There. And I'm going to do too much there on the side of the horses, because it looks a bit odd because it's a different colour. And I'll do that. A bit more up there, I think, around that bit. Because, you know, you'd get a bit of grass sort of growing around the pressure washer, wouldn't you? And then we can sort of blend this in a little bit more down here, so you haven't got, like, such an obvious straight line on this side. Now, down over here, I don't want to change this at all. I want to leave that, even though we do drive in a little bit. Although, saying that, I'm thinking that this bit here wouldn't hurt to have kind of a bit of a rough track. So it's not like some of the other tracks. So I'll bring that right way in around there. It's not like the other tracks. I can go in there like that. And I can paint right in front of the troughs if I want to. So I'll bring that along there. And yes, I've just lost a little bit of the grass down there that we cut previously, but that's okay. And if we bring our horses into this side, I suppose really we're going to be wanting to sort of do it like this. Well, more like this. Coming in like that. That would be kind of the, you know, we'd go up, we'd back down here, wouldn't we? So you'd come in like that, and We don't go in and out of this gateway all that much, but this gateway up here, we do go in and out of this gateway with the horses, so naturally we'd want that one to reflect said usage. Like that. Now, I don't know how far I can even go into the pens here. I can bring that right in like that. Gonna make that a little bit bigger, and I decided I may as well just do all of this piece here in front of the horses, like that, and that's all going to be kind of patchy yard like that. It's gotten rid of all of the grass, but that's okay. We'll be fine with that, and then I can bring that out to there, so I can just lower that one down a little bit again, put it onto the slightly medium one, and I'm thinking that's pretty good. You know, I think we've done a pretty good job there. So the only thing that's left really to do is to paint this. And to paint this one, the only thing that we haven't got is you can't, like, go further up. You can zoom in this way, and you can sort of zoom like that a bit, but you can't change the angle of the zoom, which is a little bit unfortunate, because I'd prefer to be able to change it if I could. So that's gravel there. That might actually be, I mean, a hard standing is good, but gravel might be the best option for us on this piece. Although, she's thinking just a concrete pad. Concrete pad would be better, wouldn't it? Let's do a concrete pad. So we'll do that, and we'll change the modification shape as well. So this one here, I can do it like that, and I'm just moving it a few sections, and then I'm clicking. I'm not, like, pressing and holding anything, so that I can get a nice even square, a nice even feel to it. And this is the kind of bit that you do want to take your time with. Right? I would recommend that you take your time when you're trying to do a piece like this. I'm not sure if I need to go to there or there, so obviously test it first, a bit further in. And we'll bring it down like that. I think that's pretty good there. So I'm going to bring that one out to that side. There. Over to there, like that. And then I can fill that bit in. So there is our concrete pad. So let me come out of there. And where is our nearest tractor? Let's just get the Mahindra a minute. We'll try this out. We'll see what it's like driving around on the new patches over there. And then we're going to do some more landscaping. I want to landscape this piece here, but we've got the bit where the trees were. And that's the one bit that is likely to cause us problems. But you look here. See how smooth it has made that. And yes, there's a little bit of a step down there, but that's just because we need to do, obviously, a little tiny bit more. But this, in general, we got a lovely flat area here where we've left that bit off. And then it's blended in absolutely wonderfully here. Slightly annoying about those trees. Nothing we can do about it. Doesn't matter. We won't worry about it. And then in through here, we didn't change the levels of this bit in here at all. But we did change the levels in going through here, and that is absolutely wonderful. We can now drive up through here. We're not being launched around with really uneven ground. That is absolutely fantastic. It works beautifully now. With all of this, it's absolutely wonderfully landscaped all the way through. You've got slight humps and stuff in the ground as well, and I'm really pleased with it. I am absolutely delighted with the way that this works. I don't know about the rest of you, and let me know in the comment section, what do you think of it so far? I know that console users don't have it yet. That's because Microsoft and Sony have got to do their tests, and there is absolutely nothing anybody can do about that, unfortunately. So, yeah, that's just a case of wait. No, we don't want to go there. Just go to the shop, and you've got the landscaping on there. So we go to our landscaping feature. And we go back over this way, and now we've got this bit. So we know that this bit here is an absolute jolly nuisance. It is an absolute jolly nuisance, and it is a royal pain. So we're going to do something about that. So we press F1 to bring up your all of your instructions and everything. So I want to change the modification shape, and I also want to change the mode, which is press X to do that. So we've got our brush size 4 at the moment. I'm going to go up to brush size 6. And there is the bit where the tree was that we can't do anything about. So that's that one little patch right there. But hopefully we will be able to do something. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to be using the smooth function, and we're going to smooth off some of this. Smooth that all down there as much as I can. Around where this tree was, because this is going to make a difference. We are going to have to plant this again. We're going to plow up this area again and replant if that's what we want to do. And there's the bit where it doesn't want to alter. So we've got that one little tiny bit there. Somebody has suggested that I could go and have a look in the map, and I might be able to find a solution in there. Honestly, I don't know if I'd be able to do that. I honestly don't know. I could try. I could definitely have a go. But yeah, I can't get in any closer than this. Cannot get in to do that bit in there. How are we doing this? See there, it's still a little bit rough there, but what I'm wondering, if I can do that, maybe I can raise... Yeah, it doesn't like the idea of me raising this terrain. I'm trying to raise the terrain here in order to be able to sort of combat that a little bit, but it doesn't like it. I can... Yeah. Every time I click and hold, it says can't do it. There's a bit that I can do. So maybe we can use some of this. I can't get any closer to it over there. It's not letting me do it there, but I can do it back that far. Right. So now if I press both mouse buttons together... no. Right, it will let me do it to that point. Okay. Now let's have another go with the leveling. See what we can do to try and smooth it out a little bit towards what that other one is. It doesn't seem... It doesn't like it. It doesn't like it at all. It might be that we just make this field a bit smaller now. And we leave that piece. A little bit frustrating, admittedly, that we can't do anything about that. But I might try and have a look in a map and see if I can find a way to get round that. Failing that, there may be another option if I can get a placeable tree. I know there's some placeable tree mods available now. I might be able to get one of those if I could put another placeable tree on there and then remove it. That might do something. I don't really know. But let's go. We'll blend all of this down, because this is quite a steep sort of jump on this bit, and I've never really liked this bit. So if I can smooth this out a little bit, like that. That's going to smooth that. We'll have to come back with the plow and redo this. I'm fine with that. There we go. That's actually going to be alright, I think. That's probably the biggest frustration of all of it. Out of all of this, I'd say that is our biggest frustration. It's just this little bit right here that we can't do anything with. Aside from that, I'm absolutely delighted with it. You know, the possibilities that we've got now are pretty much unlimited. I'm down to 25,000. I have used quite a bit of money to be able to do this. But, yeah. Almost unlimited possibilities we've got. So we'll have to replow that in order to make that work. And then up here, again, we've got issues with where all the trees were. So I don't really want to play around with this too much, because where those trees were, that's going to cause us some problems. And it's not really a great deal that we can do about that. I can do something, though, about this piece here. Right, there's this bit right here that we didn't have any trees on. So I can just blend this down a bit and level that out. And then we'll run over it with the plow again very quickly. Goes up to about there. So if I bring that down over here, like that, and you can see it's smoothing it out absolutely wonderfully. See the way that it's just leveling it down. It's not drastic. It's absolutely not drastic. But you really don't want it to be. You want it to just have a beautiful, soft curve on it, so that your machinery can get through there without getting grounded out or anything like that. That's kind of the aim of this. That's all you want. So we've got that bit there that we're going to want to go back over with our plow. And I'm going to leave the other end of the field there. Then the other bit that I wanted to look at was this piece of the field over here. Now, how much of this do we actually own? This is the only other bit that we'd want to do something with, at least for now. Right, well, we own down to there. So what we can do is we can go through here and we can blend all of this downwards, like that. And it's really quite rough on this bit. Right, it's rough and quite steep, but this tool is really blending that roughness away, and it's removing those horrible edges on it, which is essentially... I've done this in fields. I've gone into some rather rough-looking fields with a small excavator, any kind of excavator, actually, and, you know, done a load of work leveling off a bit of field, and... You know, you got an area of field that has been used as like a tip or a dump, and it's in rather poor condition. So the farmer has either got like a quarter of an acre of land at the end of his field that's no good, or you get an excavator in and you do this. You literally do this. All you're doing is just smoothing it over. You're using your excavator, you're smoothing it down through, and you're just kind of blending down the terrain like that. There we go. And it's a beautiful, it's soft, it is time consuming. I know this is time consuming. It's probably not the most exciting of episodes you've ever had. But there, so we've got that bit there. So now I can go back over that with the plough, and we can turn that back into the field that we want. And I can just extend it out ever so slightly. And I can also do the same down here. Now, there's a bale in the way down. I don't know. Does it do anything? It doesn't actually do anything with the bale. The bale... It ignores the bale. Completely ignores it. Whereas if you've got a tractor or something, it won't let you blend underneath it. You'll just say there's something in the way, you can't do it. If you've got straw on the ground, anything like that, it just removes it. It just deletes it. You've seen that with the wheat on the chickens. It does the same with straw on the field. So if you've got windrows of straw or anything like that that's lying around, it's not going to stop you from working. It's not going to affect you. So we can bring this along here like this now, and I can blend that in all the way along there, and I can make this, the edge of this field, quite smooth right the way up through here. I can do it all the way down through here with all these weeds. Just blend that back in there. And then we'll be able to go back over with the plough, and we'll be able to plough all this up. Just make it look good. And then we've got a nice big grass field. And the only bit that is going to cause us any issues whatsoever is that bit in there. Let's try just shrinking this down a bit and see how close we can get to doing the blending in here. When you've got a smaller brush, the blending is a lot more subtle. I can't create any extra terrain there. It's not allowing me to raise any terrain up, which is what I'm trying to do at the moment. And it won't allow me to lower any. So, yeah, if I go like that. Oh, okay. I didn't actually mean to do that. I did the wrong bit. So let me go back down there and then smooth it down a bit like this. There, so I've made a level area here. All I did was I used the leveling tool there, not the flatten tool, the one that flattens it out a bit. I think that's about as good as we're going to get. Played around with it a little bit more. So you've got a slight bump in the middle there, which is going to affect us a little bit as we try and do some of the work, but generally I don't think it's going to have a major impact. Now, looking out over here, I've got nothing that is stopping us from being able to do any work on this bit over here at the moment. Doesn't look like we're going to have any issues. So, if we want to place something down there later on, it looks like we're going to be able to do that. There's nothing much else that I want to do at the moment, except maybe, you know, we got our water tank here, and I was just wondering if we could alter this ever so slightly, just a little bit. Although because we've got this item here, it may not work very well. So I want to reduce the brush size down by a good couple of points. And then I'm going to go to flatten there. Because what I'd like to do is I'd like to have a level area right there next to our water tank. So that our machinery can come along and go next to that water tank and sort of use it. So I'm using the flatten tool at the moment, which is raising, it's putting it all to that exact level right there. There. And it's blended it down a little bit onto there. So now I'm going to just increase the size ever so slightly, and then I'm going to use the smooth, and I'm just going to blend that back into the surrounding areas so that it's not too steep anywhere. But we've now got a slightly more level area next to our water source right there, which I figured would be a little bit better. And I'll bring that one back in under there like that. Look, see? And when you've got those sharp edges, it really does blend those back in really nicely. It properly finishes those off. So now it's a little bit more level there, going up next to that tank, and it should just make a slight difference going into and out of that area right there, which is absolutely awesome. One more thing that I want to do. There is only one more thing that I want to do. It's not a big thing, but it is a thing that I do think needs to be done. Our poor dog here is completely overgrown with weeds, and there's nothing that we've been able to do with it. So what I'd like to do is I'd just like to do this and clear some of those weeds away. I'm not gonna remove all of them, because I don't think that would look good. But I'd like to clear a few of them away so it looks like we've gone through with the weed whacker and gotten rid of them, and we just blend a little bit of the edge there like that. I don't want to change any more textures or anything like that. We could do a concrete flooring underneath. Terrain cannot be modified in there, but I can paint it in under there if I want to. I'm not going to worry about that. Same over here. There's nothing else that I want to do at the moment. We'll come back and we will have a look at more of that later on. So right now, we've got this here. This is now blended down a lot smoother. This is going to be a lot easier to use. We've still got this little bit of a hump right here, which I don't like, but, you know, it's just the way it is. We'll move that grass bale, and we'll be able to plough this field up a little bit bigger, and then we can replant it. And I'd like to plough along here. So we're going to have a rough patch in our grass field, and I'm actually quite okay with that. I think that could work out quite nicely. It's just like a little bit of an extra challenge. And we also want to just replough this bit down here, where we've smoothed off the worst of the rough edges on here, because there was some really uneven ground there as well that we've now been able to get rid of. So that's kind of our next big task. However, we have run out of time. We don't have time to go doing that. We've got another little bit up here. We've done really as much as we can up on this side, so unfortunately there's not a lot else that we can do with this bit. Most of this, I think we ought to mark the edge with the small plough. We start off marking the edge with the small plough, and then we'll move on to the bigger plough in a minute. So if I go and get that one, that was down there. But anyway, like I said, that's all I got time for. So if you've enjoyed this episode, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.